Welcome in. You joined us here on Weather Unfiltered. I'm Mike Bettis.
I'm Alex Wilson, of course, as always, with our expert, Dr. Rick Knabb. You're the heat expert today and this week.
I have a complaint about the heat. I have a serious case of crunchy lawn right now.
Yeah.
You're not alone.
I mean, that just shows you how much moisture the air holds because it keeps sucking it off of my lawn.
Yeah. And it's like, we're going to take that, and we're not giving anything back unless you get a thunderstorm, and it's like steamy afterwards.
Yeah. It is the hottest time of year, and we are even overachieving beyond that this week.
I've gone with excessive heat warning pink because there are plenty of hot spots
You're
out there.
going to match every graphic we have
on the
tonight.
bright side, Deb, you don't have to mow your yard because it's not growing, right?
Well, I watered it, so I'll have to mow it later.
There you have it.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
I don't know. I should have just stood and sweated all over it.
You should have. You should have. St. Louis, 91. Yeah, you're just standing in a puddle of your own sweat. 100, your feels like temperature. That is, that's the overheated emoji.
Ugh. Oh,
I don't like it.
And like the air looks soupy, doesn't it?
It does.
It just looks like you got to cut.
Sometimes they're on the west coast of Florida. It's par for the course this time of year. This time of year is, on average, the rainiest time for the city of Tampa. In fact, when we look at your average yearly rainfall, just under 50 inches. Most of that comes during June, July, and the month of August. In fact, July only when it comes to our average rainfall. So this is the time of year where we anticipate and we get some of those heaviest of downpours and some of the highest of totals. Things start to wind down for your wet season by the time we get towards October. So let's look at the forecast for Tampa, for other areas here across the state of Florida. As Dr. Knabb said, close to the Gulf, going to stay very soggy there as well. Tampa, your forecast shows temperatures staying in the upper 80s, low 90s, rain showers likely. I think heavy thunderstorms out there on Wednesday. Afternoon storms Thursday and Friday, of course, those would offer up very heavy rain if you get them. So got to be aware of that risk. Any outdoor plans you've got, any, sports practices the kids have, keep in mind that we could be, putting a pause to operations, taking things into the weight room. Miami, Tampa, Jacksonville, and Tallahassee all running a bit below average for the year. More so in a place like Miami. You're over 4.5 inches below average, but less than 2 inches below average in Tampa and in Jacksonville, a little under 3 inches below average for Tallahassee. Orlando, the only city in the state, or at least the major cities, that's running a surplus right now, just over an inch above average. We've got no rain coming down right now in Orlando, but we are adding some around parts of South Florida, especially the southeastern part of the state. That stretch of 95 getting drenched. We've also seen some of those stronger thunderstorms, heavy downpours working off the panhandle areas. Tampa is currently at 89, but we know moving through the next few days, we've got really good opportunities for rain coming in. So Wednesday afternoon, be ready for the showers, thunderstorms. That'll bring us some really heavy-duty rainfall amounts, and we'll do the same Thursday and Friday, Mike.
Where else could we see some?
The city, a lot of folks are going, all right, I know July is supposed to be hot, but this is a lot. Kansas City, average high is 89, so we're pretty close to that Tuesday and Wednesday. It is just the intense dew points, the moisture in the air that's making it really uncomfortable. As we get towards the end of the week, you get a brief dip, then we're back to 90 plus, mid-90s for the upcoming weekend. Again, feeling hotter than what the thermometer actually says. We've got a dangerous, long-lasting heat and humidity stretch across the southern and the central states. You can see a lot of red on this map. These are all the areas that are going to be dealing with some of the most intense heat. Daily heat index values could get above 110, especially as we look towards the Mississippi River Valley. So some of those spots in Arkansas and Mississippi, downright uncomfortable, Louisiana, western Tennessee. And then overnight temperatures are not going to give us the relief that we'd like. A lot of times we look at a place like Phoenix. They've got really intense heat during the afternoon, but overnight, given the drier air, those temperatures drop. You get a little bit of relief. With high dew points, you're not going to see much cooling, and so overnight lows some will stay into the 80s with heat index values warmer than that. So again, you're not getting any break from the heat and the toll that it takes on your body. Extreme heat warnings for the areas in pink. We've got heat advisories all the way up to like Minneapolis, central sections of the state of Wisconsin. With that area of high pressure in place, moisture coming out of the Gulf, that's allowing for those dew point numbers to get into the 70s, even, approaching 80. And that'll leave us with feels like temperatures well above what your thermometer says. So anticipate heat and humidity values 100, 105, 110, possibly even higher than that. A place like Memphis, you're going to be getting close to 110. This is tomorrow. Heat index values peaking during the early to mid part of the afternoon. We're staying in triple digits, though, through about the early lunchtime hour all the way through the evening, Mike.
Yeah, it is.
Not thinking about snow, not even in the least right now. It's all about the heat, and it's not just afternoon high temperatures and heat index values, but the overnight lows as well. Average low for the city of New Orleans would be in the upper 70s. We're going to stay in the low 80s tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, near 80 Friday and Saturday, getting back closer to average Sunday and Monday, peaking around 80 degrees to start your day Tuesday. So those overnight temperatures don't give you much relief. And even if you go out for like an early walk with the dog or a jog for yourself, you're like, dang, it's already hot. Potential warm record lows all across the country. So this would be the warmest the overnight low has been for a given day, meaning it's just not cooling off. We could set those from Florida to the Gulf Coast, to the Southeast, to the Tennessee Valley, to the Ohio Valley, the Great Lakes, and the Northeast. A lot of real estate going to stay very warm during the sleeping hours. And on Friday morning, take a look at some of these numbers. The low as it gets, 73 in Atlanta. That's actually a cool spot. 79 for Tampa, Houston, New Orleans, 78 in Little Rock, 76 for Nashville and Jackson, 75, your low in Raleigh, North Carolina. Mike?
All right, thanks, Alex. Off to
But flooding has really been the story of the season for many. You're watching Weather Unfiltered. I'm Alex Wilson.
Hey everyone, I'm Mike Bettis. We'll check in with our expert, Dr. Rick Knapp, coming up in just a little bit. If you're hot, that's one thing, but if you're rainy and you're stormy, you're hot and you're humid.
Right.
You can't win.
So it cools off, but it's still humid. It's all just Little Rock. Right now, temperature in the upper 90s, feels like 105. So the mid-hundreds, mid-triple digits, you're like, goodness gracious, can we catch a break? And for the city of Little Rock, not really. We're going to stay hot. Looking at your next several days, 101 on Wednesday. That's the temperature. We're going to stay there on Thursday. Remember, your heat index values or feels like temperatures are going to be even hotter. We've got plenty of sunshine for the end of the week, start of the weekend. Go from 97 Friday to 93 on Saturday. That's going to feel like a vacation. Back to the mid-90s on Sunday. Triple digits again early part of next week, both Monday and Tuesday. Expectation is that the temperature will rise to 100 degrees or more. It's not just Little Rock, although I know you're like, well, we feel like we're getting the worst. Parts of the Mississippi River Valley, definitely the areas with the greatest departures from average, some of the most uncomfortable heat index values. Little Rock, you're in dangerous territory over the next several days when we look at that max heat index value. Getting back towards extreme caution on Saturday, that's as good as it gets, but you can prepare for those feels like temperatures likely to be around, if not above, 105 degrees. Extreme heat warnings, not just for Little Rock, but over towards Memphis, Jackson, southeast parts of Missouri, southern sections of Illinois, a little bit of a little bit of southwest Kentucky as well. Area of high pressure, it is in charge, it is holding tough, and it is going to keep those temperatures high. With that flow coming off the Gulf, that means plenty of moisture out there as well. And so the dew points will be on the high side. For St. Louis, expect feels like temperatures in the triple digits as early as late morning tomorrow. Going to be there all day long. 5 o'clock temperatures still around 104 for your feels like. 8, 9 o'clock. Feels like the upper 90s, very close to triple digits. So you got to, give yourself plenty of breaks if you're doing anything outside. Now's not the time to start like a big landscaping project. And pets need to be inside in the AC as well. Just too hot for everybody. Thursday, max heat index values, 107 for Jackson. That's exactly what we saw yesterday with that heavy rain. Rainfall still to come, now focused into the Gulf Coast. So, yeah, coastal sections of the Carolinas will get in on some rain, but Gulf Coast states, those beaches from West Florida through southern Alabama and Mississippi into the New Orleans area, those are going to be our big winners. Big Bend of Florida also looking at some heftier totals between now and the end of the week. And flash flooding will be a risk. Now, tomorrow into early Thursday, it's everywhere along the Gulf Coast and just about the entire state state of Florida, at least looking at an isolated risk of some flash flooding potential. We look at your forecast on Wednesday. Less activity in the morning. The afternoon is going to bring us much more in the way of scattered rain and thunderstorms. We'll continue to watch for that into the day Thursday. So some showers out there during the morning, not a ton of action. Afternoon, downpours take over. So some of the interstates could be affected. Even some airports may be affected by some slowdowns or temporary stops with thunderstorms nearby. Thursday into Friday, flash flooding possible from the Gulf Coast into interior parts of the southeast. So now we look at Atlanta, Greenville, Wilmington, North Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina. Plenty of spots that could at least be dealing with a low-end risk of flash flooding. It's all because of how humid it is. Remember, we've got a lot of moisture in the air, and so those showers and thunderstorms can ring out some pretty heavy-duty totals. You can pick up a quick inch or two in like an hour or less. Now, Friday morning, we do have some morning showers likely along the Gulf Coast. I still think most of the heaviest stuff is going to be focused during those peak heating hours, those afternoon and early evening hours. Your flash flood potential Friday into early Saturday. Now we're looking at Houston to New Orleans to Mobile to Pensacola, closing in on Panama City as well. The afternoon on Friday, that's going to be the prime time. I know a lot of times, Saturday's like check-in, check-out day for the beach houses, so your last afternoon, evening may be, diminished by some showers and thunderstorms. But have that backup. Have that favorite restaurant seat booked inside. Rainfall to come once again, 1 to 2 inches for many along the Gulf Coast, but some spots, guys, could pick up more than 2, more than 3 inches by the end of the week.
Yeah, more and more rain is on the way. But this one, thanks for staying with us for another hour of Weather Unfiltered. I'm Mike Bettis.
I'm Alex Wilson here with our hurricane expert, Dr. Rick Knabb, all about the tropics, the feel of what it's like outside right now.
Yeah, and even I'm a little uncomfortable in the hottest part of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, the mornings feels like Florida to me,
But you're a resident iguana. You're supposed to say, I love it.
Well, I love it for about 5 minutes, and then I start doing anything outside.
Yeah.
When the heat index is 100 and you do anything for more than 5 minutes outside, it gets really uncomfortable really quickly. So I don't even like that.
Do you fall out of trees in the winter?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
On the plus side, deodorant and laundry sales, or laundry detergent sales, are up in a big way because people are wearing like 4 outfits a day this week.
And our AC bills and our water bills are all going up.
Rough.
Oh, the power companies love it, don't
Yes,
they?
they are. St. Louis, you're a hot one for sure. It feels like 102 right now. The air's got that hazy, soupy look to it.
Yuck.
Even in the mornings, it feels like 90 degrees. So the relief at night is minimal.
It's murky, to say the least, and people, sweating it out. At least you're not alone. We've got a of what we're at least going to see in the short term. Second half of the week, expect quite a bit of rain and at times very heavy rain. Now, it tracks with what we would typically see here in the city of Tampa during the month of July. In fact, July, the second rainiest month on average for the city, a yearly average of about 50 inches of rainfall. You can see not much coming down, about 2.5 inches a month during the dry season, but June, July, and especially August, and that's when we're getting most of our rainfall. On average, July bringing 7 3/4 inches. So you expect it to be rainy in July, and it's going to be rainy here in July. So the virtual view giving us a sense of, at times, some lower visibility, some of those 1 to 2 inch per hour rainfall amounts or rainfall rates out of our thunderstorms. All right, so here's what we've got right now in Tampa. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, all bringing us showers and thunderstorms. We've got 87 on Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, low 90s. So I think we'll see things more scattered, but expect more showers and thunderstorms. That's keeping our temperatures down on Wednesday. Saturday, the sunshine comes back. Any chance of rain would be more isolated. So as Dr. Knabb pointed out, like last week, there are some days with less in the way of rain chances coming, and just in time for the weekend, really. So there's some good news for you. All right, year to date, we are below average for rainfall in Miami, in Tampa, in Jacksonville, and in Tallahassee. Orlando, the only city of the majors that is running the surplus, just about an inch above average. Now, tomorrow morning, think you got an easy drive to work. It's going to be the afternoon commute that brings you the rain, and at times some very heavy blinding rain. So that view we showed you in Miami of folks creeping along the interstate, that could be your story tomorrow in Tampa. Could see some slowdowns at the airport, again, thanks to those thunderstorms. Right now, Tallahassee getting in on the rain. Parts of Georgia getting soaked with the heavy tropical downpours. Moving through the next several hours, I-10, I-75 would be a spot to watch through about the mid-evening. You can see by late evening, action starts to fizzle. So the rainfall amounts aren't as intense. There's just not as much rain. There still could be a bit, but it's the afternoon hours again on Wednesday that bring us the best chance, the most coverage, and the most intense of rain and storms. Mike?
All right, Alex, thanks for that.
Other cameras, St. Louis. It's a little murkier view out there in Kansas City tonight. Kansas City stays hot on Wednesday. Get a brief dip Thursday and Friday, but we're back to the low, mid, even upper 90s through the end part of the weekend and early part of next week. So expect a longer lasting stretch of heat and intense dew points. So once you get those dew points up there into the mid, even upper 70s, right around 80, that's when you get the really, really uncomfortable and honestly downright dangerous heat index values. Heat index values are going to be up around 110 for spots, especially the Mississippi River Valley as we go through the remainder of the week. So overnight temperatures not going to be cooling much. That's just another factor that adds to the danger of this heat. It's not like the desert Southwest where you're 115 during the day, but then overnight lows drop to comfortable levels. This is going to be like lows around 80, feels like temperatures during the peak of the afternoon around 110. So it can really be taxing on the body. And as I said, make sure you're remembering pets. They need to be inside as well. Extreme heat warnings, heat advisories, and extreme heat watches posted up and down the Mississippi River. So it's those southern states that have the greatest chance of seeing the heat index values up around 110. Places like Little Rock and Memphis and Jackson, Mississippi. The area of high pressure, it's in place. It's going to hold tough. We've got that flow off the Gulf bringing in the moisture, again, allowing those dew points to get us up into really uncomfortable territory. In Memphis, expect dangerous territory tomorrow for your heat index values, 105 plus from the early to mid to late part of the afternoon, Mike.
Alex,
not thinking about snow, not even in the least right now. It's all about the heat, and it's not just afternoon high temperatures and heat index values, but the overnight lows as well. Average low for the city of New Orleans would be in the upper 70s. We're going to stay in the low 80s tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, near 80 Friday and Saturday, getting back closer to average Sunday and Monday, peaking around 80 degrees to start your day Tuesday. So those overnight temperatures don't give you much relief. And even if you go out for like an early walk with the dog or a jog for yourself, you're like, dang, it's already hot. Potential warm record lows all across the country. So this would be the warmest the overnight low has been for a given day, meaning it's just not cooling off. We could set those from Florida to the Gulf Coast, to the Southeast, to the Tennessee Valley, to the Ohio Valley, the Great Lakes, and the Northeast. A lot of real estate going to stay very warm during the sleeping hours. And on Friday morning, take a look at some of these numbers. The low as it gets, 73 in Atlanta. That's actually a cool spot. 79 for Tampa, Houston, New Orleans, 78 in Little Rock, 76 for Nashville and Jackson, 75, your low in Raleigh, North Carolina. Mike?
All right, thanks, Alex. Off to
look at the issues being caused by the heat. A lot of uncomfortable and unhappy folks. Little Rock, just one of the locations where the thermometer says 98, but the feels like temperature 105, given the higher humidity. Unfortunately, looking at the next 7 days, there's not a ton of relief coming, like our coolest day in the low to mid 90s. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow, we are at 101. We'll stay in the triple digits on Thursday. Notice nothing but sunshine really coming our way through the next week. Friday, 97. We drop to 93 Saturday. There's your break. And when 93 is a break, it just goes to show you how hot and humid it's going to be. Back to 96 Sunday, triple digits again Monday and Tuesday of next week. It is parts of the Mississippi Valley, the Mid-South, that are going to see some of the most extreme of temperatures and feels like temperatures here over the next week. That's why we've got the extreme heat advisories out, or the extreme heat warnings for parts of the Mississippi Valley. Little Rock, expect your max heat index value to fall in that dangerous territory Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We're back to the border between danger and extreme caution on Saturday, Sunday, back up into dangerous territory. So that kind of longevity to the heat means that even folks who aren't necessarily in those vulnerable categories could still suffer some health impacts because of the heat. There's the extreme heat warning warnings. I mentioned the areas in the hot pink close to the Mississippi River through Mississippi, western Tennessee, eastern parts of Arkansas, northeast Louisiana, up into sections of Missouri as well. That's where some of those heat index values will be the most extreme, between 105 and 110, all thanks to this area of high pressure Gulf moisture, making it really uncomfortable by midweek. So tomorrow and Thursday, temps in the...
Hey everyone, another hour of Weather Unfiltered continues. I'm Mike Bettis.
I'm Alex Wilson, here with our hurricane expert, Dr. Rick Knabb. This week, we're talking tropics, but it's about how tropical it feels like in Little Rock. You're like, if I was in Aruba, this would be acceptable, but I'm not.
Well, Aruba, at least it'd be a breeze.
That's true.
They have trade winds there. We sit in the soup and we bake and we melt.
It's not comfortable.
No, it's not, and we're schwitzing.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not fun.
Yeah, they try to tell you you're glowing. You're not glowing. You are sweating and you're very red.
I mean, you walk the dog, you take a shower. You walk to the mailbox, you take a shower. You do anything outside, you then take a shower.
Yeah. I turn a shade of red that makes not just me, but other people around me uncomfortable. Like, this woman can't be well. This is not okay.
Is she constantly embarrassed? No, she's just
No,
hot.
I'm just so hot. But yeah.
And I've been trying to do some of my outdoor things, like doing the yard work or doing my biking early in the morning. It's only helping me a little bit, not much.
Plus, you got to get up early in the morning, and no one wants to do that.
That's the worst part. That is the worst part.
All right, St. Louis, hello to you. Are you kidding me? Your heat index is 106 right now. Do I detect like a tiny little rain shaft there?
Looks like something, and we're like, please give it to me.
Come to me.
Yes, I want it. Does kind of look like a little itty bitty baby, but
At least tomorrow morning your heat index will be only about 90.
There you go. Dr. Knabb, always with the words of comfort and wisdom. But you're not alone in St. Louis. There's a lot of folks that are really uncomfortable. In fact, about 90 million people. Last week, we had some big-time downpours. Virtual view of this week, we've got big-time downpours again in the cards for us, especially Wednesday, but Thursday and Friday will also bring higher afternoon rain and thunderstorm chances. Not necessarily uncommon. You know, when we look at the rainfall on average throughout the year, we start off pretty dry. Now, average yearly rainfall in Tampa would be pretty close to 50 inches, most of that coming during June, July, and August. So August, by far the rainiest month. I shouldn't say by far, about 1.25 inches above July, the second rainiest month. So this month is very much living up to, when you get a review at work and you say meet expectations, this July meeting expectations for Tampa. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we've got temps in the upper 80s, low to mid 90s. Now Thursday, we've taken out the chance of rain and thunderstorms. I would still count on at least an isolated shower or thunderstorm possible Thursday afternoon. Wednesday, the best chance day for storms, and that's why we've got the coolest temperatures, coolest of the week on Wednesday. By Friday, more afternoon thunderstorms likely. So we've got plenty of opportunities for, your typical summertime showers and storms. Orlando, the only major city here in the state of Florida that's actually running above average for rainfall. So we are at a deficit for Miami, over 4.5 inches below average. Tampa, 1 3/4 inches. Same in Jacksonville, you're about 1 3/4 inches below average. And in Tallahassee, about 2 3/4 inches below average. So we're making up for lost time here in our deficits with more rain opportunities coming for just about the entire state. That'll also bring us a flash flood risk. So we do have at least the lower end flash flood risk for our Florida cities up and down the peninsula through the remainder of this week. Now, future radar is showing what we've got in store on Wednesday. The morning, dry. The afternoon, the opposite. Showers, some heavy thunderstorms with downpours, torrential rain, lightning, you name it, you got it for your afternoon drive. So be prepared by the evening and overnight. We'll see things dry out. But again, Thursday and especially Friday, we've got more opportunities for afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Tallahassee right now, you've got light rain, temps around 75. I shouldn't say moderate rain. Jacksonville, you're dry, but up into Georgia, man, it has been pouring in some of these spots. Forecast moving forward, that complex of rain and thunderstorms continues to the south and west. It does weaken as it moves that direction. Still around midnight, some rain showers left, but not nearly to the intensity and the coverage that we've seen over the last few hours in Georgia. Mike?
Well, let's also talk a little bit more about...
Not thinking about snow, not even in the least right now. It's all about the heat, and it's not just afternoon high temperatures and heat index values, but the overnight lows as well. Average low for the city of New Orleans would be in the upper 70s. We're going to stay in the low 80s tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, near 80 Friday and Saturday. Getting back closer to average Sunday and Monday, peaking around 80 degrees to start your day Tuesday. So those overnight temperatures don't give you much relief. And even if you go out for like an early walk with the dog or a jog for yourself, you're like, dang, it's already hot. Potential warm record lows all across the country. So this would be the warmest the overnight low has been for a given day, meaning it's just not cooling off. We could set those from Florida to the Gulf Coast, to the Southeast, to the Tennessee Valley, to the Ohio Valley, the Great Lakes, and the Northeast. A lot of real estate going to stay very warm during the sleeping hours. And on Friday morning, take a look at some of these numbers. The low as it gets, 73 in Atlanta. That's actually a cool spot. 79 for Tampa, Houston, New Orleans, 78 in Little Rock, 76 for Nashville and Jackson, 75, your low in Raleigh, North Carolina. Mike?
All right, thanks, Alex. Off to
Are all looking at our temperature going, can't be right. 97 in Little Rock. You're right. It's not what it feels like. It feels even hotter than that. It feels like 108 right now when you factor in the dew point. So that measure of moisture in the air is on the high side, making it miserable. And unfortunately, Little Rock, I don't have much relief to offer to you. Those temperatures staying really, really hot through the remainder of the week. In fact, tomorrow and Thursday, we're going to hit triple digits on the thermometer. So then you get your feels like temperatures up around 110, 97 Friday, 93 Saturday. There's your nice little break day. We're back to the mid-90s on Sunday, low triple digits on Monday and Tuesday of next week. Lots of sun, lots of heat, lots of humidity. And that has prompted National Weather Service to issue a lot of those heat alerts that we've got, the extreme heat warnings. Little Rock, Arkansas, you're in the dangerous territory tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, our coolest day of the week. All right, we're now on the fringe of extreme caution and danger. Back to dangerous territory on Sunday. And the dangerous factor is that this kind of heat, even those who aren't necessarily heat vulnerable, can succumb to some heat related issues because we've got long lasting heat and we don't cool off overnight. So it's persistent heat. Extreme heat warnings in the areas in pink. We've got the heat advisories and the extreme heat watch. Those go all the way up to parts of the northern tier. So Minnesota, parts of Wisconsin, all thanks to this area of high pressure in place that's going to keep our feels like temperatures really high. In fact, triple digits all the way up to Chicago. St. Louis, expect heat index values tomorrow as high as 106 during the mid and late afternoon. Opportunities for more rain along the Gulf, and as Dr. Knabb pointed out, also we've got opportunity for tropical development. It's a low-end risk over the next 2 days, 10% odds here as this drifts off to the west. But what it definitely will do, 100% chance that we're going to see an increase in rain and thunderstorm activity near our Gulf Coast cities. So New Orleans, Biloxi, Gulfport, Mobile, Pensacola, Panama City, Apalachicola, the Big Bend area of Florida. That's where we've got 1, 2, 3 inches of rain likely. Some spots could even exceed 3 inches of rain by the time all is said and done. And it's going to be throughout the week. So the remainder of the week brings higher rain and thunderstorm chances, especially during the afternoon hours. Now tomorrow into Thursday, areas to watch: New Orleans all the way down to Florida, just a little bit of South Florida not included in that, but pretty much the entire peninsula, the entire state is under that lower end flash flood risk. So a possibility of some localized flash flooding north to south. We look at your afternoon hours. That's when things really start to blossom down along the Gulf Coast, southern sections of our southeastern states. So even South Georgia, parts of the Carolinas. Thursday morning, we've got a little bit of wet weather to start the day, but more opportunities given those peak daytime heating hours. So once again, it'll be the afternoon and evening that brings the most in the way of rain and thunderstorms. Thursday into Friday, we've got a lot of I-10 in the state of Louisiana. So Lafayette to Baton Rouge to New Orleans, all the way over to the Big Bend of Florida. And then we've also got some interior cities: Atlanta, Greenville, Spartanburg, Columbia, up into parts of southwestern parts of North Carolina. So there will be some interior spots that could get in on some heavy rain as well. When we look at our downpour chances on Friday, yet again, afternoon hours near the Gulf Coast will be, the most common places to see some of the wet weather. So end of your beach week could bring some wet weather, guys, across those regions.
All right, Alex, thanks for that. So a tropical feel to the weather in those places that she mentioned, Dr.